Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to make a bass line that sounds like this inside of SYLENTH1. Let's do it. Now Sylenth is a very popular synth and you would have heard plenty of bass lines that were made in it. So let's go ahead and make something ourselves. So I'm going to follow the tradition of the other videos and I'm just going to use the note of A sharp to make our bass note. And just for a second we have to sit here and listen to the SYLENTH1 automatic preset, because that's just like a rite of passage. Whenever you open up Sylenth you have to listen to this a few times around. So let's go. Beautiful. And I need to change my BPM, so we'll make a prog styled bass at 138 BPM. And let's go ahead and change that so we can come into here and we can go clear. So now we have a clean patch and it should just be a saw wave. Yep, so our wave here is a saw wave. So let's have a listen. Okay, now that's a bit high in the octaves for our meaty kind of fat saw bass line. So let's pull it down. And we'll go down a little bit further and see how it sounds. Okay, cool, that's probably more what we're looking for. So, like I mentioned, this shows you what sort of saw, like what sound the oscillator is going to generate. So this is a saw wave. We've got one voice. We don't need multiple voices for the style of bass that I'm going to be showing you. And we need retrigger to be on. So every time this sound plays, the sound needs to begin from the very beginning of the waveform. And we'll be able to further control that with the phase control here, but we won't do that just yet. We'll shape our sound first and then we'll go and do that. So first thing we need to do is we need to turn the filter on. So we're going to use a low pass filter, which changes the sound like so. Cool, so if I open the cutoff, or if I pull the cutoff down, so obviously doing this very quickly is how we're going to achieve that sound. So we need to control the cutoff with, in this case, we're going to use the modulation envelope 1. So we can click on here and we can assign this envelope to control cutoff A on filter A. Cool. So cutoff A for filter A. And then if I grab this knob and I pull it all the way up, that means it's going to apply 100% of this envelope to that filter. And then if I pull it all the way down, that would reverse it. So it would just be working in reverse. It would still be 100% of the envelope, but it would be the opposite of how it is this way. And then in the middle is no envelope. So 100% envelope. And we can play around with the envelope amount if we want. And I'll give you a demonstration of how that sounds once we get a sound sort of in the ballpark. So we've got that. Another thing that we'll do is we'll map the velocity to the volume of A. And that way we can make volume change. So we can play around with the rhythm by adjusting the sensitivity. So yeah, I set the velocity here and I set that to control volume A, and then I pulled volume A all the way down. So if I put that all the way down there, you only hear like 1% of the volume, and then you can pull that up and you hear more. Cool. So we got that rolling sort of sound, but we don't have the pluckiness of the bass. So what we need to do is we need to come over to this modulation envelope and we need to shape the way that that cutoff is changing the sound. So I'll pull the sustain down and I'll just pull the decay up a little. Cool, so now we're starting to get that plucking, rolling styled bass. Cool, so with the attack on the filter, this is how long it takes for the filter to go from completely closed to the most open amount that it's going to be. So cool, we'll set it around there. You can hear what the sustain does. So the sustain is how far closed the filter is going to go while the note is being held. But we can also use the amp envelope or the volume envelope to shape the sound as well. And I'm just going to use the filter to do everything. Okay, so now we have a velocity sensitive bass patch, and we've got a sound that's in the ballpark. Got headphones on, so I can't hear it that perfectly, but let's duplicate it, let's freeze it, and let's flatten it. So this is the sound that we are looking at or dealing with, and it looks pretty quiet. We could turn it up just a little bit just to hear it a bit better. Okay, so cool, it's a bit scratchy. The sound of this isn't quite as clean as how it sounds when it comes out of Serum. Oh, and what we didn't do is we didn't play with, what we'll do is we'll go back, we'll just play around with, just quickly, we'll play around with the phase. Cool, that's got a nice bite on it. So let's do that again. Duplicate, freeze, flatten, Q. And yeah, let's bring that up in volume. Let's just hear it a bit louder. Okay. So we'll delete that. We'll just keep this one bass note for now. And we'll roll it at the end. Okay, so that's what it would sound like. Okay, cool. Sweet. So you'll notice already there's a different character in the sound from Sylenth as opposed to Serum. And maybe I could roll it. Sweet, that's quite nice. Sweet, so I'll show you the ways that I would process it. So Satin. And this is similar, if you've seen the Serum video already, that's going to be the same process. Cool, so that adds a bit of fatness to the sound. Freeze and flatten that. It also kind of increases the release on the attack, so it rolls into the other notes, so I always do a little bit of an edit on that. And what I could do is maybe adjusting the phase and having that click makes quite an ugly sound. Obviously that's always open to interpretation, but we could come in here and we could take that zero crossing point. Oh, did I move that? I did. We could take that zero crossing point there, and we could just move. Cool, we could just change that a little bit so we can pull that shorter, and then yeah, we can place that right there, and that would be ideal. And if I pull that closed, okay, so then we've got probably a bit of a better sound on the beginning of our click because we've gotten rid of this messy noise at the beginning. So that's the old, that's new. Cool. All right, well, the clickiness on that, I wasn't really liking it so much, so I think in this case cutting it up and having it like that creates a bit of a better sound, at least on the headphones. So we've got that, and then what we would like to process is we can process focused on the click of the sound. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've got this kick and bass processing rack, and actually I've already done the Satin, so I'll turn that off. So what this is doing is it's adding a bit of weight to the bottom with the Pultec, and it's adding a pluck on it with the Trans X. So let's have a listen without the processing. And with. Cool, so in my Serum video I did go through these sorts of settings. They are a little bit different as opposed to how I had it last time, but go ahead and have a good look and listen to the sound and then figure out what you like. So hopefully this was an enjoyable video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hi everyone, thank you for watching my videos. If you would like some one-on-one help, I offer one-on-one tutorials over Skype. So if you think that you need a little bit of extra help, please get in touch with me. You can email me. My email will be in the link of the video description. If you would like to support the channel in other ways, jump over onto Patreon and consider becoming a patron. Subscribe to me on YouTube and like my page on Facebook. And thanks again for watching my video. See you in the next one.